Hello. This is It's Unspoken, and I want to talk about a letter that President Trump sent to Governor Pritzker and Mayor Lightfoot, and it surrounds the killings in Chicago. And now I live in Chicago, so this article or this letter. I'm looking at a news article that was published on the 26th of June 2020, and I'm going to read this letter and then I'm going to share my opinion on it. So the letter begins, Dear Governor Pritzker and Mayor Lightfoot, I write to you today to call your attention and to urge action on the devastating violence in Chicago. While I have been heartened to see crime reductions nationally the last few years, I have been horrified by the continued violence in this great American city. I recently read an article from the Chicago Sun-Times on June 8, 2020, 18 murders in 24 hours, inside the most violent day in 60 years in Chicago, which discussed the severe crime and lack of law and order in our nation's third largest city. The article details how 85 people were shot and 24 killed the previous weekend, the most in modern history in Chicago. Your lack of leadership on this important issue continues to fail the people you have sworn to protect. I am concerned it is another example of your lack of commitment to the vulnerable citizens who are victims of this violence and a lack of respect for the men and women in law enforcement. The article recounts the following horrors. A hard-working father killed, a West Side high school student murdered, a college freshman who hoped to become a correctional officer gunned down, 18 people killed Sunday, May 31st, the single most violent day in Chicago in 6 decades. The weekend of May 29th, 25 people were killed and another 85 wounded by gunfire. The most violent weekend in Chicago's modern history, stretching police resources that were already thin because of protests and looting. Violence and death, which are disproportionately harming young African Americans, are tragic and unacceptable, particularly on such a shocking scale. According to the Chicago Sun-Times, shootings across the city increased by 71% last month, and just this past weekend, 102 people were shot in the city's most violent weekend of the year. A 3-year-old toddler was killed. More Americans have been killed in Chicago than any combat zone of Afghanistan and Iraq combined since September 11, 2001, a deadly trend that has continued under your tenure. The American people, hard-working taxpayers, that's in parentheses, send your millions of dollars in federal funding each year to support public safety in Chicago. In 2018 and 2019, the city of Chicago benefited from $136 million in funding from the Urban Area Security Initiative grant program, and another $68 million was recently announced for Chicago from this important program. The Department of Justice awarded and is in the process of awarding nearly $20 million to support law enforcement and law enforcement related entities in the city of Chicago and Cook County across 2019 and 2020, including resources for combating opioid abuse and recidivism reduction. The Department of Labor has also awarded funding to programs targeting prisoner reentry and recidivism reduction in the Chicago area. My administration allocated $898.6 million to the city of Chicago and Cook County from the Coronavirus Relief Fund, which helps support your responders on the front lines. In the absence of any modicum of leadership, however, these substantial sums of taxpayer money are not being turned into results, and the safety of your most vulnerable communities continues to deteriorate. These funds are in addition to those collected through your combined insatiable appetite to tax the people of Illinois and Chicago. I will continue to lead the way to support historically disadvantaged communities and would welcome your help in these endeavors. In December 2018, I signed into law the First Step Act, marking the major reforms to our criminal justice system in over a decade. This brings historic reforms to making our justice system fair and to help inmates successfully transition back into society by providing prisoners with a second chance through rehabilitative programs and fair sentencing. Additionally, when I signed the Tax Cuts and Job Act of 2017, we created opportunity zones. Nationwide, nearly 9,000 communities have designated opportunity zones, including over 130 in Chicago. We are incentivizing investments in areas that have been forgotten for far too long. My administration has also provided robust, unprecedented support to historically black colleges and universities. Recently, on June 16th, I signed an executive order advancing important reforms to evaluate a noble profession and strengthen the essential bond of trust between police officers and the communities in which they serve. My administration continues to work closely with Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina and others across the political spectrum to advance further policy improvements and meaningful reforms. Unlike previous administrations of both parties, I am willing to tackle unsolved challenges. If you are willing to put partisanship aside, we can revitalize distressed neighborhoods in Chicago together. But to succeed, you must establish law and order. The combination of crime, high state and local taxes, and onerous state and local government regulations have caused thousands of Illinoisans to flee to other states. Between 2010 and 2019, Illinois lost more of its population than any other state in the nation. If you are interested, I am willing to ask members of my cabinet to meet with you and help devise a plan to make Chicago safe, since a successful formula has escaped both you and your predecessors. My administration would also welcome the opportunity to engage with you and your colleagues as you develop bipartisanship policy recommendations to improve policing and make our great city safer for all. Unfortunately, you continue to put your own political interests ahead of the lives, safety, and fortunes of your own citizens. The people of Chicago deserve better. Sincerely, Donald J. Trump. Wow. How to unpack that? Well, first off, I understand where President Trump is coming from, and this was a very passionate plea to Governor Pritzker and Mayor Lightfoot. And, he talks about the devastation that just took place of people being killed. And, it was more of an emotional plea. Parts of this was an emotional plea. And I get that. And it's sad when you read that a child is killed, a 3-year-old. I don't personally believe that Governor Pritzker and Mayor Lightfoot are not doing anything about this issue. I'm sure fully aware of it. I'm sure they are fully aware of it, and I know that they don't like it. Mayor Lightfoot gave a press conference, or she was I don't know, she was on the west or south side of Chicago sharing a new development, and she was talking very heartfelt about the loss of life over this past weekend. And she said it's, you could see the pain and the agony in her eyes and in her face and in what she was delivering. And I don't doubt that these issues are important to her. And she also pointed out that it's not the responsibility of the police department, or something to that effect. I'm not quoting her, but it was something to that effect. And I couldn't agree more. It's not, the police they do a lot. They do a lot. They come to your home and try to negotiate, try to help when things are happening. They do the best they can. They help drunk people. Sometimes they have to lock them up. They deal with people on drugs. They deal with people who are irrational and erratic, people that are off of their medication, and they walk into things like that all the time. But this to me is a lot deeper, and I dare say that it starts at home, because that seems so cliche, but it really does. And even though you're throwing money at the situation, President Trump, you're giving all of this money, but I don't think that money is going to solve the problem. It's not about money per se. Now, could the communities possibly need places for the young people to go, recreational things for them to do? Like the saying goes, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. So if you're not doing anything, and that's with anybody, that's not for black, white, red, or yellow specifically. That's anybody. When your mind is idle, it just can go anywhere. And when you have a community that is deprived in so many ways that they don't have those things necessarily, I don't know. But it also starts at home. The fathers aren't there. The fathers are not in the home. And to me, that's what's missing in this article. He should have started out with, "Dear Governor Pritzker and Mayor Lightfoot, I know you're struggling because a lot of the violence it stems from these young men not having the father in the home." And that's a deep-rooted, serious problem. They're either locked up, or they can't, they're not married to the mother. Maybe they have multiple children. Maybe they don't have multiple children. Maybe they have one child and they're trying to do the best they can, but there's friction. There's all sorts of possibilities. But I don't think throwing money at someone is going to help them to be in their child's life. No, I don't think that money is going to help a child who might have a mental disorder, or a child who is depressed and sad because they don't have their parent, or maybe the family life isn't what it could be. So money's great. Money makes the world go round. We all need it. But it is not always the solution. And there's a lot of that in here. So it's not the fault of Governor Pritzker and Mayor Lightfoot. And I think that this letter is heavy with that. And I think that's unfair. What are they going to do? Is Mayor Lightfoot and Governor Pritzker supposed to go into the neighborhoods and stand on the corner and say, "Stop, quit buying illegal guns that we can't track"? Is that what they're supposed to do? Are they supposed to put their lives in danger, and now something's happened to them, and who's going to govern and who's going to be the mayor of the city? No, they cannot do that. They have to try to come up with something. And I agree that with President Trump, when he in so many words is saying that this has gone on too long. And it has, but it's so deeply rooted. The roots are so deep and far in the ground, and they were there well before Governor Pritzker and Mayor Lightfoot even considered being the governor and the mayor of this great state and city. So maybe there's some mental health issues. Maybe that money could be used for that. That's a lot of money. I mean, let's revisit all of the money. President Trump's in his letter said they allocated $898.6 million to the city of Chicago and Cook County from the coronavirus relief fund, and that's helped support first responders. Okay, but that's not helping the killing in Chicago. The Department of Justice and the Department of Justice awarded and is in the process of awarding nearly $20 million to support law enforcement and law enforcement related entities in the city of Chicago and Cook County. Okay, but that isn't helping. That's for the law enforcement. I don't know what they're going to do with that money. Maybe they're going to buy more body cams, or they're going to train. I don't know. But what does that have to do with the killing in Chicago? I mean, it's great that you're providing them with money. It's probably well deserved and well needed. But how does that help the situation at hand, which you started and outlined about all of the killing? It doesn't address that. And he says that in 2018 and 2019, the city of Chicago benefited from $136 million in funding from the Urban Area Security Initiative grant program, and another $68 million was recently announced for Chicago from this important program. Well, what is that program? What is the Urban Area Security Initiative grant program? I mean, I hear urban, so I immediately think the city. Urban area security? What is that? I hear a lot of things about security and policing and coronavirus relief fund, but I don't hear anything about helping the deaths and the murders in these neighborhoods. That is lacking in this letter. But it is quite accusatory, telling the mayor and the governor and the mayor that they have poor leadership. What are they supposed to do? What is Mayor Lightfoot supposed to do? I believe that she is doing things and trying to do things, but it's not just her. It takes that community too. They have to want to do these things. They have to want this to get better. They have to do things in their neighborhoods to make things better. It's not just Mayor Lightfoot. It's not just Governor Pritzker. And it's not President Trump throwing money at it. It's attention. It's love and attention. To me, that's what's missing in all of this. It's not about money. It's not about what Mayor Lightfoot is or isn't doing. It's about what is to me, here's what I'll say in my observation. This is about a lack of love and attention. If you want to just break it down to its simplest form, this is about love, attention, nurturing, caring, providing for a healthy, safe environment. It could also involve mental illness. Now we can start giving money to that. Now we can, go into family. It's involved though. It's involved because, people have to want to do this. And then when they do, what is the foundation? What do? Do you set up centers? Do you set up places where people go and they start, talking about what's going on with their family? These families might be private. They may have a lot of pride. They may not want to deal with people pointing the finger at them. This is a difficult issue to solve. It's just like the opioids. And people doing that and, escaping. It's escapism. And you know what? We're always going to have that. We're always going to have people killing of each other. That's always going to exist. I'm sure it's existed since the beginning of time. No, I wasn't there in the beginning, but it's just something that people do. This is violent, and I again don't think money is the answer. I don't think money is the answer. So, President Trump, I think you mean well, and I think you want it to stop. And Governor Pritzker, I think you mean well, and you want it to stop. Mayor Lightfoot, I firmly believe that you think this is bad, and you want it to stop. It hurts all of you to see it, and it hurts me to see it too. I don't know where to begin. I don't know. People are hopeless. People are feeling hopeless. People are feeling unloved. And you might laugh and say, what has love got to do with it? Let me tell you something. Love has to do with everything. Everything. Like, the song Tina Turner, what's love got to do with it? Love has everything to do with it. So, I'll end on that. It saddens me to talk about this and to, I don't know, feel the pain of everybody that's dealing with this. And I pray that we find a solution to this very, very serious problem.